So the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 beta is officially over, and I just wanted to give you guys my opinion on how I thought the game was, and I'm also interested in your guys' opinions, so let me know in the comment section below what you thought of the beta. But look, we're gonna be talking about the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything else in between. So to start off with the good, first off, we have red dots back in the game. Now, look, this is a tale as old as time, where you break something and then you sell the fix. So I don't know why I'm necessarily putting this in the good, because we've had red dots before in Call of Duty. I don't necessarily know why they removed them, but they are back, which is good. And you know, for me, it's actually green because I have my enemies as lime green. Long story, doesn't matter. But regardless, we have red dots back. You have to love that. We have dead silence that actually works. That's the second thing, okay? Now, I don't necessarily agree with the fact that you have to have the boots on, but the covert sneakers, I believe, is what they're technically called. The fact that it is completely dead silent is amazing. Like, it is night and day difference. If you're running around, at least in the beta, if you were running around without these dead silence boots, you were loud as hell. I mean, shit, I was getting sound hoard majority of the games in the beta when I wasn't rocking these, but at least it's now a thing, okay? That is on the right track, at least competitively. I don't know how important that is to casual Call of Duty players. I would assume it's still pretty important, but I personally love the fact that the dead silence is back and it actually works. Another positive for the game was it just looked much better. I don't know where this hyper realism has come in Call of Duty. I know, and now look, I didn't play the older CODs. I first really got into Call of Duty in Black Ops 2, but I love when there's color to the game. I don't like when it's just dark. It's shadows everywhere. It's just grayscale. It doesn't look good in my opinion. I don't think it looks good. I know it may be more realistic, but it doesn't look good when you're playing or even watching. So I think they did a good job with skinning the game. It has a little bit more pop. It's a little bit more appealing visually, in my opinion. And by the way, I know I told you guys I didn't really play the older games, so the most confusing thing to me, by the way, was this was like supposed to be what, a remake of Modern Warfare 2. Like, all the Modern Warfare 2 maps and guns and stuff like that are in the game, and I don't understand that one. I was assuming it was like the OG Modern Warfare 3. That's what it was supposed, I don't know, that's what I thought it was supposed to be about, because the last Modern Warfare 2 last year, I thought that was kind of a redo of the OG Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 3 I thought was a redo of Modern Warfare, the OG Modern Warfare 3. So it was a little confusing as someone who hasn't really played those older CODs, so I don't really have the nostalgia with a lot of these maps either. But talking about the maps now, I'm not sold. I'm interested to see how it's going to be when the actual game comes out. The beta maps, you had what, Skid Row, Rust, High Rise, and Favela. The only map that I thought was even like solid enough, I guess, even solid enough, and I'm not even completely sold on it, but to be a competitive map, was Skid Row. At least when we're talking about like the overall maps, maybe High Rise for an SND, but like Favela and Rust, I know those are old maps, so a lot of people have fun with them casually. I have a hair in my tongue, but so I want to know what the people who have actually played the older CODs, especially Modern Warfare 2, what they thought of the beta maps. Because I like when it comes to Rust and Favela and even High Rise, I guess for pubs it was okay, but I don't know, I'm a little nervous because at least competitively I only thought Skid Row was viable, and I just don't know what to think. I don't know what to think with a lot of these old maps because I never played them before, so I don't know how they're going to work out. Sorry, I have something in my eye now, like I have a hair in my tongue and I have something in my eye. Pause. But so the maps are a little worrisome for me. I don't know. I didn't really love it. I didn't hate them, but I didn't really love it. The gunplay I thought was pretty solid. I'm glad. This is another positive. I'm glad that they added increased health. I believe technically this is tied. Modern Warfare 3 is tied for the second longest time to kill, I believe, with Cold War in Call of Duty franchise history. First being Black Ops 4, obviously. But so that's a good thing. It still felt pretty easy to shoot, in my opinion, especially with the guns like the Striker and the ACR, or I think it's called the MCR. But at least there was more of tracking that you had to do. You know, you didn't die instantaneously. It was just like a little delayed of instantaneously. So that's a positive, in my opinion. The guns felt good. The sniping felt good. The longbow seemed a little OP in the beta. The striker seemed OP in the beta. The ACR seemed really good. I'm interested to see the rest of the guns when they drop, but I did like the fact that it felt good. It felt smooth. The movement, well, so we get more movement than in last year's game. It still felt a little weird to me. Like, it was definitely smooth. The slide canceling was delayed, which I think a lot of people will like that. Unless you were rocking the tack boots, I believe is what they're called in the game. Your slide cancel was a little delayed. It wasn't as fluid. You didn't go as far. So even though it didn't feel as fluid as I would have liked, I think this is a positive, especially for the casual fan base of Call of Duty. I don't know how many people love the slide canceling meta when we're talking casually. You know, if you're just a pub stomper, or you know, you're just not taking things as competitive as a professional player. The attachments, especially with the boots and the vest and everything in between, was interesting. There was no tuning. I don't know if there's gonna be tuning. I don't know if any of you guys out there know. If you do, let me know in the comment section below. But the attachments, pretty basic of what it's been the past couple years. I don't love that, don't hate it. Once again, I'm kind of indifferent about it. But I did like the fact that they have these different boots, different gloves, different vests, depending on your play style, right? You can really kind of cater to how you want to play. And I like how they did it. You know, that's something different. They try to be intuitive with it. So I respect that. And I think, you know, it's fun. It keeps it fresh to a certain degree. I don't know how it's going to really work competitively. I mean, I'm sure most players are probably just going to use one combination of gloves, probably like the quick draw gloves, of the boots, of the vest, even though I know that not all of those were unlocked in the beta. Supposedly there's one that's like a ADS faster, as well as better aim, more consistent aiming when you're jumping. I believe is like it's packaged together, so that one has me curious. That one might be used a lot as well. I thought the game was good, but I'm also pessimistic. I'll be honest with you. I think it's going to be better than last year's game. I do, even if the maps aren't good. But I'm just worried about how good of a game Modern Warfare 3 is going to be, especially when you compare it to the OG Modern Warfare 3, which I've never played it, but I know a lot of people love that game. A lot of people say that that's like their favorite COD and the best Call of Duty of all time. I don't think I'm capping. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have told me that. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. I did have fun in the beta. I did play it a decent amount. And like I said, for the most part, I enjoyed it. Besides those fucking mosquito drones or whatever, I died to so many of those drones in the beta. Is the most obnoxious thing in the game. It's like a homing missile, I swear to God. That needs to go. It's not gonna go, but that has to get fucking, but I don't know who decided to come up with that thing, but that was the only thing that actually had me raging in the entire beta was the drone, whatever that thing was. And probably the biggest negative that I had with the beta, and as well the biggest worry that I have when it comes to the actual game dropping, was the spawns of the game. Now, it wasn't the final game. It's also 6v6 playing pubs, so things could be differently, right, when we're talking about 44 more on the competitive side. But the spawns were non-existent. Like, there wasn't a spawn system. It wasn't really squad spawns, which honestly I probably would have rather had that than what we had, because it wasn't really squad spawns. It almost felt like you really didn't have that much influence on wherever your player's positioning was compared to where the enemy was going to spawn, especially on maps like Rust and High Rise. It seemed super random. Now, Skid Row to me was a little bit better, but still, it just didn't really make sense. I didn't really enjoy that aspect of playing, just trying to predict those spawns, if you can even call it predicting. So that is going to be something that I'm going to be looking out for, especially when I'm playing when the actual game drops. But even watching the pros play, when it comes to like competitive, if they don't have any sort of spawn system, it's just going to be pure chaos. It's not going to be a good watch. It's not going to be good to play. So hopefully going into the actual game, things are either different, or, you know, they're taking the feedback from everybody and Sledgehammer is going to try and fix their spawns, because they're absolutely abysmal right now. So on a scale of 1 to 10 though, I would give the beta, in my opinion, a solid 6.57. Now maybe I'm being too harsh because I was enjoying the game. Over the years, I've been told a lot of things, a lot of empty promises. So I'm not trying to get my hopes up, but I do think this game has the potential to be really, really freaking good. Hopefully Sledgehammer just does what they need to do and the game drops and the maps are great. Like I said, I really liked the visualization. I liked the appearance of the game, just the overall skin. The gunplay seemed pretty solid. So we just got to hope on good maps, good spawns, and then hopefully maybe, you know, COD will be back. I've seen a lot of people tweet about it, but we just have to wait and see. So let me know what you guys thought of the beta. I'm sure most of you probably have been grinding it or were grinding it, whether it be on PS5, PC, both, whatever the case may be. And I know it's been a while since an upload, guys. Yeah, man, I love y'all. Take care.